Welcome everyone. In this episode, we're going to go over the 5 best places where you can snorkel in the Keys without having to be on a charter or having a boat at all. We have been down to the Keys several times. We used to live in Naples, and we've brought family and friends down there, and we've all gone on the big charters out to John Penny Camp, Coral Reef. There's also charters going out to the Lou Key Reef. There's some going out of Key West, also out to the Dry Rocks and different areas out there. But this video is going to be about where you can go snorkeling if you don't need a boat. If you don't have a boat, if you don't want to go on a charter, you just want to go out for the afternoon or just for a few hours, where can you go? This is just going to only be about the lower Keys, basically from let's say Bahia Honda on down to Key West. Nothing on the upper side yet. My wife and I, we've been on the tours. We love the tours from John Penny Camp. It's a great place. I would recommend it to anyone. The amount of fish, the amount of wildlife that you'll see. There's also safety in numbers. My wife Julie, she's a little bit apprehensive about being in deep water with sharks. And yes, there are sharks all over in the Keys. So we loved the reef tours. However, it's sometimes nice to go where there's not deep water. The wife feels a little bit more less afraid if we're not in the deep blue water. So we wanted to find different places to go where we didn't have to go out in the deep and basically just snorkel from the shore. When we went on these tours, we were always left with wanting more. It was such a beautiful experience being underwater, seeing the schools of all these tropical fish. It's awesome. It really is. And we wanted more. And you can't go on a charter every day. Well, yeah, I suppose you could, but you know, with a limited budget and time and so forth, you just can't go every day. But these places we're going to show you, that's someplace that you can go every day. You can just hop in the car with your gear, drive to the location and head out onto the water. And this is something that we really enjoyed doing. We loved the tours. It gave us a taste of it. We wanted more, so we just found these other areas you could go. So on this list, we have 5 locations. Maybe not all locations, 3 locations, 2 spots, let's say. First one on the list is Bahia Honda. Not in any particular order. Horseshoe Beach, which is very close to Bahia Honda. Fort Zachary Taylor, very popular place. Easy to go from the shore, and docks. We'll talk about that when we get to it, and also kayaking, snorkeling off your kayaks. So hang out with us for this short video here that we put together. We're in these spots you can go snorkeling right from the shore. Come on along with us for this journey. We're the 906 Adventure Explorers. Our first stop on snorkeling spots in the Keys is going to be Bahia Honda State Park at mile marker 37. Lots to do here. They have a picnic area, a campground, good beach for sunbathing. Like I say, you can snorkel right off the shore here. There's a souvenir shop with a deli. There's also a dive charter that takes you out to Lou Key Reef. They have bathrooms, 3 different sets of bathrooms with showers. And like I say, the campground there also. There's 3 areas you can basically go. The first area, as you come into the park, if you go to the right, there's a beach and bathrooms, bathhouse down that way. There's also the boat landing, souvenir shop, and that's also where the dive charter is located. If you go to the left after you pass the entrance, which there is a small entrance fee, you'll come across 2 different parking areas, both with covered pavilions. They also have bathhouses there also. Our favorite spot is to go to the very end, the very last parking area, and we usually pack up enough stuff, a picnic for the day, and we'll head all the way down the beach. There's less people down there, the water gets less churned up, it's just a good spot. We kind of like to get away from everybody else, and that's where we like to snorkel, is toward the end of the beach area. Once we're in the water, what I generally look for is structure. That's usually what draws the most fish. Either where the seagrass meets the sand, old crab pots, sunken wood. We've also come across some fuel tanks out there from boats that have been just jettisoned over the years. Once you find this structure, you'll usually find lots of fish. Wrasses, sergeant majors. You'll even run across some barracuda out there. Some people are kind of iffy about the barracuda, afraid they're going to bite them. They've never been aggressive toward us. Everything in the ocean seems to have teeth, so I guess it really doesn't matter. We have not encountered any sharks while snorkeling off the beach, but there are sharks everywhere. We have seen them on the north side of the island while kayaking. A couple other things to watch out for. There are stingrays there, either shuffling your feet or just watching for them. Spiny urchins, stepping on those are also no fun. Also on the beach, there's actually one of the beaches there is called Sandspur Beach, and that's because of the plant, the grasses that grow there have little sand spurs on them, and if you venture off the beach into that sand, you'll get stuck with them. They're very sharp, spiny little seeds on those plants. Those are about the worst things that you're going to run into there. Best time to go snorkeling is usually after it's been calm for a few days. If you go right after a thunderstorm, the water's churned up. If you go on really windy days, same thing, the water's churned up and you don't have such as good visibility. Not that you can't snorkel at those times, but it's just better when it's calmer out and everything's not churned up. The beach is awesome there. You will have times when there is seagrass that's been blown up from storms or what have you covering the beach. It can get smelly at times. It's not always a pristine sand beach there. There again, you just have to watch which way the wind is blowing. If the wind is blowing onshore, you might end up with some seagrasses on there, but there again, you'll find patches of sand if you want to sunbathe or just lay out your towel. That's usually not a problem either. Another bonus is the depth of the water at Bahia Honda. You can be 100 yards offshore and still only be in 5 to 6 feet of water. So if you're not the strongest swimmer, this is also a bonus. Our next snorkeling location is Horseshoe Beach on Spanish Harbor Key, which is at mile marker 35. The name is kind of a misnomer, as there is no beach, and this is actually a saltwater quarry that was used to help build the overseas highway. There are also no signs marking this location, but if you are headed toward Key West, after crossing the Bahia Honda Bridge, it's the first road on the right. There's a small parking lot there and a trail leading through the mangroves. The best place to snorkel would be to the left as you travel down that small pathway. There are a series of boulders in the water about waist deep, and that seems to be where all the fish congregate. If you turn to the right after going down the mangrove trail, you will find a spot to sit. But just keep in mind that this is a quarry and you will be sitting on rock, so it might be a good idea to bring some chairs along. The quarry is horseshoe shaped. On the right side of it, there is some exposed rock that you can walk out on, and possibly you can sit on depending on what the tide is at that time of day. Another nice thing about this location is if you went snorkeling or tried to go snorkeling at Bahia Honda and you had onshore winds and the visibility wasn't very good, you can go to Horseshoe Beach, which is on the leeward side of the islands, and the water quality might be much better there and the wind won't be as bad. It also appears to be a very popular place for scuba diving. And in the center of the quarry, which is supposedly 30 feet deep, there is an ambulance which you can explore. The depth of the water outside of the quarry is usually about chest deep, between 5 and 6 feet deep. The quarry, like I say, it does drop off down to about 30 feet deep. But if you stick to the edges, and especially the southwest corner of the quarry, there's a series of large boulders that are maybe every 10-15 feet. You can go from boulder to boulder to boulder and just kind of make your way out further and further into the water. We were just amazed by the amount of fish that were there. And it's not just one or two, it's very large schools of fish. Corals also, we ran into some brain coral there, parrotfish, It's a really interesting place. Never really expected to see this in an old quarry like this. Then there's usually very few people there, and I guess maybe not having it marked down the road helps. So if you're looking for an out-of-the-way place where you don't have to fight the crowds and you get to see a large amount of fish, Horseshoe Beach just might be the spot for you. Our next snorkeling location is Fort Zachary Taylor, which is located on the southwest point of Key West. Zachary Taylor is a historic park and beach, and you'll have to pay an entrance fee, but this fee will get you parking and also access to the fort and the beach. The beach is not exactly sand, but more like crushed coral. There are two main rock piles submerged about 30 to 40 feet offshore. This is the area where you will want to snorkel. There can be a current between the shore and these rocks, depending on what point of the tidal cycle you are in. You can stand on the rocks once you arrive, but just remember the water depth in between the crossing there is about 6 to 7 feet. Snorkeling at Fort Zachary Taylor immerses you in clear turquoise waters, teeming with vibrant marine life, where schools of parrotfish and yellow-tailed snapper glide through the currents. The rock jetties there act as natural barriers, creating intimate pockets of coral and lobster hideaways, perfect for the beginners to explore. Water shoes are a must for navigating the pebbly beach, and gear rentals on site make it easy to dive right in, with better visibility in the mornings and on calm days. On one of our snorkeling trips at Zachary, I did encounter a jellyfish up close and personal. While swimming out to the rock jetties, I had my face down, scanning the area for fish, when all of a sudden I felt a tingling and mild burning sensation on my forehead and cheeks. We continued on, and I really paid no mind to it. Once we were done snorkeling and had returned to shore, my wife Julie noticed faint red stripes on my forehead and cheeks. Apparently, I had ran headfirst into a jellyfish, and it greeted me with a mild sting. Another creature to be mindful of are the stingrays. They can be very difficult to see. Can you pick the stingray out in this picture? While sitting on the bottom, their camouflage allows them to blend right in. Therefore, it's a good idea to shuffle your feet while you're in the shallows to avoid being stung. Our next snorkeling location that does not require a boat to access is docks. Now, I'm not talking about marinas or boat landings, but private docks. Whenever we are in the Keys, we usually rent a spot that has water access or a dock. We have also found that these docks can be a treasure trove for all types of marine life. Safety tip: docks and canals or on waterways are meant for boats. Always display a dive flag when snorkeling and be aware of your surroundings. Another safety tip is to remember that if you are snorkeling in a canal, some docks have fish cleaning stations, which can draw in some very large predators. My wife Julie has seen bull sharks at the entrance to some of these canals. Luckily, we have never come face to face with one, but it is something that you should be aware of. Once again, structure seems to be key. The docks provide an artificial structure for large schools of fish. But not just fish. We have seen moray eels, barracuda, lobster, and nurse sharks can be found just steps from our rental. Another bonus to docks is that when you are not snorkeling, you can chum in all kinds of marine life to that dock. On one occasion, Julie had a daily visitor, Barry the barracuda, who would show up on a daily basis and wait for a snack to be thrown his way. Once again, I would not recommend chumming while snorkeling. Our final location where you can snorkel without a boat is on a kayak. Okay, yes, a kayak is a boat, but there are several rental companies throughout the Keys that will gladly rent you a kayak for an hour, a day, or a week. I will leave links in the description below for some of the companies that we have used for rental kayaks. Snorkeling off kayaks is a different experience. First and foremost, make sure that you are comfortable reboarding your kayak from open water. There are several different techniques for this maneuver, which can be found by doing a quick YouTube search. Plan on seeing different types of marine life once you leave the shore, including some much larger ones. Did you catch that? Let's play it one more time. See if you can see it. Right where the arrow is, yes, that's a shark. A very large shark.
Big shark.
Well, that big shark was large. It was probably a nurse shark, but nevertheless, it was the size of our kayaks. It's always fun running into sharks while you're out. But spoiler alert here, the two black-tip reef sharks that you're seeing now are only about 24 inches long. They look bigger on the screen, but nope, these were juveniles. To stay safe from sharks while snorkeling, avoid murky water, harbors, or areas with steep drop-offs, especially during dawn, dusk, or night. Never snorkel alone and avoid wearing shiny jewelry or high-contrast clothing, and leave the water calmly if a shark is spotted. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode and were able to get some information that will help you in the future. If you enjoyed this type of content, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And until next time, go out there and enjoy God's green earth.